And next is Petra. I'm going to let you take over.
Hi everyone, my name is Petra. I'm a product designer. Let me just share my screen with you all. Okay, so as I said, I'm a product designer. I'm going to talk about myself in a bit, but what I am bringing today is digital product design because there are so many amazing people here creating amazing products. And I just wanted to kind of give you my expertise and help you build even better products when it comes to the digital space, though I think that these can translate into offline products as well. So let me just go here. Yeah, so I'm Petra. I'm a digital product designer at VMLY&R by day, but I'm also a freelance digital product designer every other day of my working week, which is really important. I don't work on the weekends. And yeah, as I said, I'm hoping to support this amazing group of people when you're developing something, because there is an art to it. And people don't realize this quite often, that the user experience of the product is so important. And we need to make sure that people can trust these products. So when I say product design, I just want to make sure that you know what that means. So what is actually product design? Product design to me consists of three things, not just two, because normally we talk about user experience, the user interface. But for me, it also consists of business, because there is one side of the product is the user experience, right? So creating a digital experience by understanding the user's needs, behaviors, values, abilities, and limitations. And we just create a really good experience for them within the product, so that they are satisfied, that they keep coming back, they have a good experience that they can trust. That's the most important thing. The other pillar is user interface, where we just look at really the visuals, and even more so, what's even more important is the accessibility and, again, user friendliness. But then the last thing, which I think is, again, really important, is the business's goals and needs. Because what would the product be if it's not, profitable? If it's not doing well, it's not going to stay on the market for long. So all three need to be combined. Why this is important and why this is hitting quite home, quite to my heart, is really close to my heart, is because we have a really male-centric healthcare. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but for example, there are different symptoms in females and males when it's leading up to a heart attack. So this was something mind-blowing to me, but unfortunately it's something that happened in our family, and I was really shocked that that's a thing. But unfortunately, all the education and all the this, or to help ourselves, we have to do it ourselves, right? So how we can do it is, for example, through product. I want to kind of just emphasize that obviously there are things that are really changed by our hormones. So it obviously makes sense to not really blame, but kind of think about the hormone side of things as well. But it's not always the case, and it's quite kind of frustrating that a lot of things are blamed on just us being females, which is definitely not true. So how do we create a product that people can trust? First things first would be 100% research. I think a lot of people think that they can just go ahead and create a product, which, in a lot of cases is true. However, if we just look at the Apple Store, for example, I look at it for you. If you look for female health, the most things you get is period trackers, which, don't get me wrong, super important. However, I do think that this space needs innovation, because we keep creating the same product, we keep innovating, which is amazing. But I do think that we just need more diversity. When it comes to product, it's really important that we look at and listen to what users really want. We are not creating a product for ourselves, we're creating a product for them. So we need to make sure that the user experience is there. We can speak to people, we can use online tools if we have the money, or you can do interviews. Or my favorite, which a lot of people don't think of, is look at reviews. You can just look up, for example, in the Apple Store, you can look up an app, a product, whatever it is, and you will see so many pain points that you could improve for people. There is always room for improvement. So the second thing would be to emphasize. we have to understand the user, understand their problems, understand their limitations. And again, we are creating for them, not for ourselves. One thing I would say here, and I think it's a bit controversial, is that I do think that it makes sense to hire a team of females because, again, females design for females. We can emphasize better. We understand the issues. We've been through them when it comes to, let's say, menstruation or any other female health issues. We understand better. Don't get me wrong. Any professional can design really well, and that's their job, and I'm sure amazing at it. But emphasizing just brings this side as well. So as an example, I would take the app Clue, which is a menstrual tracking app. And the previous example of the app reviews I showed you, they were about this app. So I took the pain points and I kind of thought about it, looked at what people are saying, and I tried to redesign the app. These are just small things that would actually really help the user, and they would solve so many problems. So I'm sure that there is obviously a lot of data behind it, but this would be one way of doing it. The third thing would be to actually create the product. One thing I would say here is that I think a lot of people think that what you're creating has to be the next Apple, the next big thing, but it's just not true. We are solving someone's problem, and that's really important, whether it's a small problem, a big problem. As long as we're solving something, people will listen. So as an example, I would use the Lowdown's pill companion. The Lowdown is the world's first contraception review platform. And last year, when I was part of the Lowdown, we created an app. It was the time of lockdown. There was a lack of GP appointments. It was really difficult to get contraception, not to mention the previous point of being misdiagnosed, everything being blamed on hormones, being given the wrong contraception. So what we created here with the Lowdown was a solution that would help you diagnose what your issues are, which may be caused by a contraception, by your pill, and which pill to switch to actually solve your problems. We also created a database of education, of chat, of even online appointment with GPs. There are reviews as well. So it was a great solution. I do believe that the Lowdown moved everything to the website now, if you want to have a look, but it's absolutely amazing what they did. And last but not least would be to do it all over again. So a product is never finished. So once you created everything, you have to go back, you have to research again, you have to test again, and you will be redoing the thing over and over again. But that's the beauty of it. It can only get better. And last thing I wanted to say, as I mentioned before, as long as we're creating a product that will solve someone's problem, people will use it. Doesn't really matter if it's the most beautiful app. It doesn't really matter if you only have 500 reviews on the App Store. People will use it. You're going to make their lives better. So I would just really suggest put it out there, a minimum viable product. You can go back, test it, redo it, make it better. But people will be really grateful when you solve their problem. And I'm going to emphasize one last time, it doesn't have to be the next Apple. It doesn't have to be the next revolutionary thing, because I'm sure if you find someone's pain point and solve it, they will be super, super grateful. And I think this is how we can support the whole space and industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Petra, and everybody's really grateful for those final words about your product always being important. And I think what you were saying about user-centered design is really key as well.